For those of you who don't know, Bishop Sycamore, I think that's the name of the school.
Yeah.
Skidmore? Bishop
No, it is
Sycamore?
It's Sycamore, yeah.
Bishop Sycamore played a high school football game against IMG this past weekend, and it was nationally televised on ESPN. Everybody knows IMG, like the Sports Academy, basketball, football, all that nonsense. But apparently this high school, Bishop Sycamore, just doesn't exist. It's not a real high school. Like, it's not a real anything. It's all fugazi. And nobody at ESPN took the time to do the due diligence
Yeah.
to figure out like what this school was, because it doesn't exist. And it's all like dropout JUCO players. You know what JUCO is? JUCO
no,
football.
I feel like
they have JUCO baseball too.
I feel like I heard that word a lot in 2004.
Yeah, closer than that. You know that show Last Chance U?
Yeah.
Like, that's JUCO football. Like, ECC has a JUCO football team. It's like not NC. It's people who maybe, from what I know about it, like Josh Allen played JUCO football, I'm pretty sure. People who don't commit to Division I schools or whatever can go play JUCO football for 2 years and then try to commit from there or whatever. Something like that. Something along those lines. So these guys, it's like a bunch of like 20, like older guys that play for this mythical high school, and they just get clapped by all of these super good high school teams. And they play like they played 6 games last year. They had a game 2 days before their game that was televised, and they have a game coming up this weekend too. And they just play, and they don't exist. The address of their high school is a residential house.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard that.
It's hysterical.
It is interesting. It is a really funny idea, but I've got to wonder, like, why does it exist? Like, who is really to gain from it? Do, like, those players gain from it?
Okay. There's no way. They get destroyed.
Right.
They're not good.
Right.
And they're old, and they play high school kids, and they lose.
Like, what's the name of the school? Something Sycamore?
Bishop Sycamore?
Bishop Sycamore. That's a good name for a school,
yeah,
right?
It's a school
like,
name.
that sounds like a school that maybe's got some respect on it.
My theory behind it is that somebody was... A former athlete got pretty high one night and watched Accepted, the movie, and was like,
oh my God.
we could totally do this, but with football.
That's
That's how it started.
Of course. That movie is a good movie.
It's a great movie.
It's an underrated movie.
What's that guy's name?
Justin Long.
I like that guy a lot. He's got a really good face for like roles like that.
I feel like the thing with this Sycamore deal, I feel like who would have to gain but like really elite schools that want to get more wins on their rosters. That's where my conspiracy brain goes.
But the thing is that there's a lot of some of these big schools. There's a lot of shitty high school football teams out there that you could play, and you'd be playing actual high school kids, and that you could destroy, and it wouldn't matter.
But people know that they kind of put an asterisk on that win. Like if you're not playing a good program.
There's an asterisk on playing Bishop Sycamore in general. They're not a real school, Andrew.
Yeah, but
you should lose all credibility if you play them, because how has nobody done the due diligence to I mean, now people are going to know,
but before
they played a 6-game schedule last year.
Sure, but before, I'm saying nobody knew that they weren't real. So if they were able to present themselves as this big school, which obviously they did to ESPN successfully, then it'll make your team seem better.
Yeah, but once you played that team, you'd realize that this is not a real thing.
That's what I'm saying. They're in on it the whole time.
The other schools are in on it. That's
my theory.
That's not a great theory.
Why though? Why is it so bad? Maybe it's not great, but why is it a bad theory?
Because when you're a school, I'm gonna get a little philosophical on here. When you're a school like IMG who wants to be the best, you don't play games just to beat opponents, because you don't get any better by playing lesser competition. You get better by playing better teams. Their whole prestige is that like we are like all about athletic excellence. You know what I mean? They're gonna go out. They want to play the best of the best. They want to beat the best of the best. People know that they're at an elite level. So I don't think that goes the way you're thinking it. Plus, if you're looking at actual like rankings and stuff, especially when it comes to football, beating a team that's horrible / doesn't exist by 50 plus points means less than losing to like the number 1 team in the country by a touchdown.
Got it. But if nobody knew that the school didn't exist like they did, and so by all appearances, well, hold on, just let me work through this.
I know your theory.
But hold on, but I want to express it a little more clearly and get into some other things. So you made me lose my train of thought a little bit. Jesus. By all accounts, what it looks like is that you have just crushed a very elite, a very respectable team. I'm still going. A very respectable team. That's good for you, regardless of what's that other school? IMG,
Academy?
Whatever they put out. I mean, yes, you want to be excellent and all that stuff. Of course, that's what they're saying. And I'm not saying like this that's what IMG is doing specifically, that team, but a team like that says, you know, we want to be the best. We strive for athletic excellence, sure. But at the end of the day, it's all about looking good so that you can get some of your players drafted and get better high school recruits so that your school gets more money. That's what it's really all about, no matter what, right?
Okay, here's the thing. Bishop Sycamore, fake high school, went 0-6 last year. They scored 42 points, gave up 227. There's like you and again, even if you don't know it's a real school though, Andrew, you can look that up.
Yeah, but again,
no, nobody's coming out here thinking that they're elite.
Isn't that the whole point?
No, the reason that they played each other. Well, they said they were elite, but if IMG knew who they actually were, they wouldn't have played the game.
Okay, right.
They're not in this together.
No, and I don't think that, but I'm just saying.
No, that's exactly what you're saying.
I'm not saying them specifically though, but I'm just saying in general, a legitimate high school team like IMG could do this, and maybe Bishop Sycamore was set up to be approached by elite level high school teams to make them look good. And again, yes, 0-6 last year, they gave up all those points. But to know that, you have to look it up. You have to do your due diligence. And nobody's been doing that.
But what I'm saying is, I understand what you're saying, and in a certain situation, it wouldn't be a bad theory. But if schools did their due diligence and looked up who Bishop Sycamore actually was, they wouldn't play them.
Well, I guess that depends. I think if the schools, I mean, if you set it up, if Bickmore was set up like, wait, what is it? Sycamore?
They don't even. But this is like so. They don't even have a website. They have nothing. They don't exist really. So it's just somebody calling somebody and saying, "Hey, like we're this elite school from Ohio or wherever, Texas, or from somewhere."
Ohio, I think, is where
we're this elite school from Ohio. Like, you want to put us on your schedule this year? And they say, "Yeah." That's all it is. It's a quick phone call,
right?
A couple emails,
right? Or
no,
it's a big conspiracy.
Moving past,
I'm just saying.
That,
I think
I'm sick of your conspiracy.
I'm just saying that's an interesting.
You're taking the fun out of it by making it a conspiracy.
Disagree. Why?
No, because more funny to think that there's this school out here that's just been conning people to play.
But what do they get out of it?
They don't get anything out of it.
But it's practically like a law of physics. Like, seriously, for anything to happen, somebody has to be getting.
I don't know. Maybe the payers are playing to play for this fake high school. Maybe they're getting spot. Somehow, I'm sure there's money involved.
Yeah. But in what way? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I don't think that they were organized by another school to make. No, because
I'm not
it
saying
doesn't
either.
make
It's
sense.
like the movie The Wedding Ringer with Kevin Hart.
Because I'll tell you this.
Sycamore is Kevin Hart.
So
in that
ready?
movie.
Let me propose you this. Do you think that IMG looks better or worse in the eyes of the public or the eyes of like future athletes for playing that football game?
No, because
No, what? I said, was it better or worse?
Oh, they don't look worse in the eyes because what it seems like is they got conned. That's what it seems like.
That's why they look worse. If you're going somewhere, if you're going to an
okay.
elite athletic institution,
Because right, you would want
and
them to do
they
that.
can't even do the due diligence to see who
Okay.
you're playing, you look like a bunch of morons. It doesn't help them at all. Unless they thought that nobody was ever going to figure this out.
Right. Which is what I'm saying is possible for that's what this whole thing would have been built on if that
People figure
conspiracy
everything
theory-
out. The internet
Eventually.
Yeah.
Now more than
the
ever.
Game was
But
played
people are-
a day
but
after the
people
game
are-
was played, they figured it out.
Yeah, but people are still kind of getting used to that. Like other people discovering things through the internet. That's still kind of a new thing. I'm just saying it's possible. I'm not saying that's what happened
I
in
think
this
that's one
instance.
of the least possible
but I
things
think,
that we've talked about.
But I
on this
think
podcast.
potentially that's why Sycamore was set up. I think that could be a thing.
They still are playing. Like they still are planning on playing games.
Yeah, I saw that. I know somebody canceled on them, but
Scummy.
at this point, yeah. I get what you're saying about they look worse for not doing their due diligence.
There's also this is a rabbit hole that I got down, and I don't have any information in front of me, but apparently there's a college that's similar that they think has some ties to Bishop Sycamore. That's a fake college that plays football games, and they play them like they showed their schedule. They have like games on back-to-back days, which you don't do in football, and some of them they have like a 3 a.m. game and like a 7 a.m. game, a 1 a.m. game. Like they have wicked game times. I think that it's because they have to sneak onto their own field.
Right. This is something is up here.
Yeah,
I'm
something's
telling
going
you.
on.
I'm not saying my conspiracy is right, but I think there is something at play here.